Welcome back, everybody. We just have to give you a sneak peek of the mac and cheese that's in the oven now. This is not my recipe. By the way, I'm Amy Hanton, the cooking mom. Normally, I'm sharing my recipes, but we love it when the ladies share their recipes. You met Rosie before, and you are a great cook.
Well, yeah.
I can tell.
Okay.
I know. When I was looking at the recipe, I was like, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
I don't want to brag too much.
Oh, and you do the whole Thanksgiving dinner? And this is one of the sides. It's mandatory, right?
Well, you can call it a side, but I make two, so yeah. But it's mandatory. It's a necessity.
You know, homemade mac and cheese, there is nothing better, and everybody has their own secret way to do it. So this is Rosie's recipe, and there's a lot going on, so we're going to jump right in and get to it. So first thing I noticed that was a little bit different, Rosie, is that we're actually we're doing half of a box or 8 ounces of elbow macaroni into the boiling water, and then you throw a little olive oil in there with it.
Yes.
Okay. And then you season the water not only with salt but a little oregano.
Yes.
And that flavors the pasta a little bit?
I feel like it sticks to the pasta and adds a little herb taste to it, and it kind of brings out the flavor once everything's put together.
I love that idea. What a great idea. So we're going to let that hang out and do its thing, and then we're going to move on to the sauce. This looks just delicious, and there's nothing better. Once you start making homemade mac and cheese, forget the box stuff. Not happening. No. So a little bit of butter, a few tablespoons of butter in here, and then some red onion.
Yes, I think red onions add a lot of flavor. You can choose whatever you like, but I think that they are really good once you saute them.
And it's going to add a nice little color, too.
Yes, yes.
So you were talking about your Thanksgiving dinner and all the different dishes you make. So besides the regular turkey and the mac and cheese, what else is on the menu?
Well, we mix it up a little bit. We do curry chicken. We do chicken stew. I like a Caribbean chicken stew. It has some spices to it. And then I also do oxtail stew, and that's pretty common in the family. They love that. So apparently I make the best one. So
well, we'll have to get you on to do some Caribbean cooking.
Yes.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes, I have a lot of Caribbean seasonings. I actually had to order some because they don't have them here.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, wow, I love Caribbean food. Yeah. So really, that sounds great. Next time we'll do that. Today we're going to go all American here. So we're letting our onion and our butter hang out a little bit. And then this has a really nice buttery topping. Yes. Which all of my casseroles, I love casseroles too. And so this is just a little bit of butter we're going to melt over here in another pan. Yes. And then just some just Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. Yeah. Just kind of let that hang out, and that's going to be the wonderful crunchy topping. Yeah. Which is
thinks that I think it kind of brings out the flavor in a nice way. It balances out the texture. So I think it's good between cheesy and a little crunchy.
Totally with you. The topping of a casserole is my all-time favorite part. More topping, more better. Okay, so we're going to get back to the onion and the butter here. Now we're going to thicken it up with a little bit of flour.
Yes, because you don't want it to be too, liquidy.
Yep, which is just basically a homemade quick roux we're doing with flour. And then I'm going to have you go ahead and open. This is that instant, the evaporated, not the sweetened condensed, but the evaporated milk, which we're going to add in there. So if you want to just go ahead and open that. This is going to make a really nice creamy sauce. Yes. And then besides, we've got cheddar cheese. We've got Monterey Jack cheese. Yes. And then to make it really nice and creamy, and a lot of my chef's friends do this too, some sort of a processed cheese in there just kind of ties the whole thing together. So this is Velveeta, or you could, some of my chef friends use American, but it melts really well. It makes a nice creamy sauce.
And I think it's good to switch up the cheese because it adds a little change in the flavor.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, not just cheddar.
So we're going to let this cook a minute, and at home, maybe let it cook a little bit longer. Now we're going to add our milk. And then our can of milk goes in here too, correct? Yes. And if I'm doing this wrong or you do it a different way, just give me a shout.
Nope, you've done everything right.
Okay.
I like to take it's a process because you can make it too clumpy sometimes if you do it the wrong way. So the steps you're doing is perfect. You've prepped the onions with the flour, and then you're doing the milk, and the way you're stirring it, and it eventually becomes its own mixture.
I think that the first time I made a white sauce like this, I was so nervous. And then once you start doing it, it becomes, second nature. It's just really not a big deal.
Yeah, some people's afraid. When I first started, I actually burned the milk into the pot.
Yep.
That was my college age.
Practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Yep, we've all had a few mess ups along the way, and that's how we learn. And this goes right in here with this now?
Yes, okay. I feel like it adds a flavor that I'm looking for. It's not just milky. just like regular milk. It adds a nice creamy base to it.
And a lot of the, the good old Southern cooks and their Southern mac and cheese, they use that evaporated milk as well. So that's a good tip. So we're just going to wait for this to come to a boil and thicken a little bit. And I'm going to get back to the breadcrumb mixture.
Yes.
And we're going to do right in here. And we picked up our butter, by the way, at Quick Trip. I love that. And we're going to add our seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. And this is going to be that wonderful topping that goes on the top. Do you, like for Thanksgiving, do you make this a little bit ahead of time? Can you make it the night before and then
Yes.
bake it off? Okay.
Yes.
It's my kind of recipe. Because I try and get, for Thanksgiving and most of the holidays, as much as I can done ahead of time. Because there's some stuff that just you can't do ahead of time.
Yes, I need a bigger kitchen, so I have to time everything because I'm working out of like one oven.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I do everything in advance.
I hear you. All right, I'm going to have you spray that nice big casserole dish with
right.
cooking spray there. Is that the type of dish that you use at home
Yes.
when you do it? Just a nice big one? And Rosie was saying that sometimes she'll make two.
Yeah.
So that you've got one for now and one for next week. All right.
Two goes a long way.
I'm going to drain my pasta, and then we're going to let our sauce, still got just a few more minutes to thicken up. All right. And now we're going to start adding our cheese. So we've got Velveeta cheese.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why it's good to do the milk portion first is because it helps the cheese from sticking.
Right.
And with it being hot, it helps it melt.
Good, really good
Easily.
tip. Dry mustard, and you said sometimes that you use just regular mustard, whatever you
Yeah,
have.
it's the same thing. I just wanted to leave it optional. Some people have their preferences. So I like to leave options open.
I agree with you on that. And then some great seasonings. So this is going to have some nice flavor, this mac and cheese. So what are the seasonings that you've got? And let's just...
Parsley.
Okay.
I believe this is dry basil leaves and paprika.
Okay.
Yes.
And right in there with the sauce.
You'd be amazed how much it can bring out the flavor. I like to put a lot of herbs into things. If I could, I would like to grow an herb plant.
Well, you
like
should
a
do
garden.
that. You should do that. Or you can even do it, on your windowsill.
Yes.
In the kitchen is nice, and then you've got fresh herbs right, at the ready. So we're going to let this sauce thicken a little bit. Then the pasta's going to go in here. We're going to add some more cheeses, more cheese on top, an egg. We'll put the full recipe. You can get it online, but we want to show you what the finished product looks like because I know the ladies are going to be dying to taste this.
It's going to be good.
Oh,
It's going to be
yum,
good.
yummy. Bubbly, and those breadcrumbs on top. This is what homemade mac and cheese should look like. Oh,
that looks familiar to me.
Fantastic. Oh, I
Yes.
can't wait to dive in. So we're going to finish up this recipe. Later, Rosie's going to stick around and make her homemade pumpkin nut bread. And coming up, we're going to show you how to set a really beautiful Thanksgiving or fall table. So don't go anywhere. You're watching The Better Half. Thanks, Rosie.
Oh, thank you.